The counter is already screwed to the kitchen structure, and the kitchen structure is already screwed to the wall.
Welcome to episode 18th of the Cabin Build series. We come back with an episode full of progress, where the sun let us work outside and we are able to finish the kitchen countertop, install the undermount sink, and paint the kitchen frame in black. We also finished wiring the cabin up and got to harvest the biggest vegetable that we ever had in our garden. Stick until the end and let us know what you think in the comments below.
I'm Eugenia, and this is Pepe, Aspen, and Lolita, and we are now building our new home. We have been traveling around Europe for the past year in our self-converted campervan, but looking to live a simpler life, grow our own food, and build our house led us here. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing.
Hi guys, today we're going to continue working on the kitchen. We already have the kitchen frame already built, and we already also installed the legs underneath. And now we just gonna put the frame on its place. Make sure all the dimensions are right so we can fit the oven and stove on the right side. After that we're gonna cut holes for the water pipes, for the cold water, the hot water, and also for the drain that goes to the bottom. Once these holes are all done, we are going to be able to push the frame to the wall and secure it to the wall. We think that it's very important to secure the kitchen to the wall, that way it doesn't tilt over when you open the drawers and are fully loaded, you know. So once the kitchen is already on its place, we're going to be able to put the countertop and take some dimensions to make sure where we are going to cut it. We're going to just cut it in length because the width is exactly the one that we wanted. So that's pretty much it, and then we need to mark where the sink hole is going to go. We're going to put the sink underneath the countertop. We think it's cleaner and it looks way better, especially when the kitchen is part of the space. Also, we need to make the holes for the faucet and for the soap dispenser, and that will be all.
If you like this cabin, remember that we have the architectural layout available in our website, with all the dimensions you will ever need to replicate this design, and also includes the whole 3D model, so you can look at it and modify it in your computer.
We just finished setting up the structure for the kitchen, and now we are going to install the counter. The counter is a 3 centimeter piece of wood. In order to do that, we need to install the sink. This sink is designed to be installed on top of the counter, but we're gonna try to install it underneath. So I will be cutting a hole, just an opening to see the interior of the sink, and the sink will be glued from underneath. Let's see how it goes, and if we don't like it, then we just cut the proper dimension and put it on top. Also, right now we're gonna screw the actual kitchen structure to the wall, so it's attached to it. The plumbing for the faucet is already out, and the plumbing for the sink also. In order to make it perfectly horizontal, I am packing a little bit front legs, like 3 millimeters or so. And once that is horizontal, I'm going to screw the structure to the wall. We will need to cut the counter over here, because in this side is where the stove is going to be. I already left 61 centimeters and the stove is 60. So we have 1 centimeter gap just to be able to push it in there. And yeah, let's see how it goes. And we're debating whether to paint the kitchen black or leave it as it is right now, because we kind of like the material, we kind of like the OSB. Yeah, I think it looks very architectural, but the original idea was to paint the whole structure and the doors black and leave the counter in natural wood. But at this point we don't know what to do, so I think we're gonna leave it like this for now and see how it looks when everything is finished, and then decide if we paint it black or not. I had to trim this a little bit. It was damaged here on the edge. So I just cut 1.5 centimeters, and now I'm gonna put it where it belongs and mark underneath to cut the hole for the sink.
We made sure the frame was perfectly vertical before attaching it to the wall. That way the counter is also level and nice. We left it overhanging 1 centimeter, around 5/8 of an inch, on this left side, so it is easy to wipe things off when you use it. And in the front, we left an overhang of 5 centimeters, around 2 inches, that once we install the doors, it will become an overhang of 3 centimeters, around 1.25 inches. Also, at this point, we mark where the cabinet was from underneath the counter. That way we could locate the sink, making sure that the kitchen frame is not in the way when we later install the sink. Drawing the sink cutout was very fun. It brought me back to my architectural school days, where we will have 10 hours geometry classes. I guess those classes paid off in the end, because the undermount sink looks great. Wait until you see it, and let us know in the comments if you like it.
We're getting ready to glue the sink to the underneath of the counter. Eugenia is now masking the edges so we don't have the glue sticking out. And this is the glue that we're using. Very heavy stuff.
Estoy bien encuadrada.
We're gonna leave an affiliate link for Amazon for this. The sink has been drying overnight and now the glue is perfectly cured and we're gonna flip the counter over. We're now gonna go ahead and cut the holes for the faucet and the soap dispenser. It's going to be faucet in the middle and the soap dispenser on this side. So we're gonna pre-drill with the thin drill bit right in the middle of the hole, and then we will flip it over and cut it with the bigger drill bit. Now we're going through the metal, so that's why. Now we're going through the metal of the sink. So I'm gonna take this off first because we have the wood inside now, inside the bit. Change of plans. It's very rainy outside, so we cannot go out and cut the counter to the length that we need. We need to cut it in order to varnish it and keep working. So I'm gonna jump on the electrical wiring, which is pretty much done. Here's how it's looking. All the pre-connections are ready. Here I have all the cables that will go to the circuit breaker. All the brown ones will be the lives and the blue will be the neutrals, and a couple of them are grounds. I have them labeled here. So yeah, I'm gonna install the circuit breaker here and finalize installing the couple of outlets that we have left, because pretty much everything is now installed. Now I'm gonna connect all the neutrals to this neutral bar that we have here.
So each cable will go in one of these numbers, and then they all go together with this copper bar. They will go to the breaker. And same with the ground. We have another copper bar here. We put these two grounds to the copper bar, and then we will have a ground going out to the actual exterior of the house. This is the final result before we put all the covers, and we were just missing the actual neutral from the grid, the live, and the ground. I will go here. I'm gonna put all the covers, and then I'm gonna just finish with the couple of outlets that we have left. And after that, we will be closing this portion with wood. This outlet is gonna actually have 3, and we just prepare for 1. So now we're gonna need to be cutting here the other 2 holes, and then feeding the cables from outlet to outlet. I'm not quite sure what the distance is between the holes, so I'm just using this as a template to make sure that we put it properly. And while I do this, she's
Anything.
We finally got the stove and oven yesterday night, and we went ahead and installed it. It's just connecting the gas and the power to the electric, and now we need to cut the counter over here. We didn't want to cut the counter until we had the stove here, just to make sure that we cut it right in the perfect place. So now we're gonna mark it, and if it doesn't rain, then we will cut it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm back to the building site, finally. Today we are going to start working on painting the kitchen, the countertop. After much thought, we are going to stick with the original idea of painting the kitchen in black, because the back part of the fireplace is going to be painted also in black.
we think it's going to look much better. For the paint, we chose a simple one. We didn't find anything special for furniture. And the one that we found for kitchen was quite expensive, so we went for a basic one that in the label said it was for walls, but we think it will be fine. For the kitchen we will give 2-3 coats of the black paint and then another 2-3 coats of varnish, so it gets protected. For the countertop we are going with a transparent matte finish that is special for countertops, so it's more resistant. Today I'm wearing our lemonade crew neck. I'm gonna leave a link to all our merch in the description box below. Leave a comment with your question, if you like the style.
This is all ready. Now I just need a light sanding and Eugenia will varnish it. I think for this we're gonna go with a 120 grade. In between coats we probably jump to 200. We're gonna take the kitchen out just to paint it black on the outside. Venga,
Seguro.
Para. Cuando quiero paramos. Para.
¿Qué pasa?
Espera.
Now the first coat of paint is all finished. We are gonna leave it to dry for 3 hours before we apply the second coat. This first coat was a bit more thick because we wanted to fill all the holes that is in between the particles of the USB panels. The second coat is going to be much more thin and uniform. I will see you in a little bit once that we give the second coat.